Do you think that Carnahan and Obama want to take away your right to worship?
Well, Charlie, I'm really glad and grateful that you'd have me on, because there's been a lot of attention on this, and candidly, the Carnahan campaign and the left, it was bloggers, have tried to make this into something it really wasn't. Let me just say very clearly, and I think it's important we're having this discussion, but we have in this country right now, and have for 18 months, one-party rule, and the party in power is Pelosi, Obama, Carnahan. Carnahan is a 99% voter with Pelosi. And over the last 18 months, what we've seen is a radical transformation and growing of government. And when government grows, see, for example, the hiring of people during a recession, see Obamacare, see the wasteful spending, on and on and on, one of the things that happens is our freedoms are limited. And that's all I was saying. The conversation was about religious freedom. And I think that in America, we recognize that the logical conclusion of government growing and taking away our freedoms is the freedom being threatened. And we saw it yesterday, Charlie. We were promised in America, that we would not pay tax dollars for abortion. And yesterday, the Obama administration, Nancy Pelosi and Carnahan promised us. They have announced now that Pennsylvania will get $160 million to pay for abortion. I object to that, and so do many people who support abortion. They think that tax dollars shouldn't go to it. So this is the kind of stuff, and I think that's what the conversation's about.
Okay, and so you're not backing away from these comments. In Politico, it said that you say one of the things that's most destructive about the growth of government is taking away freedom. The ultimate freedom to find your salvation, to get your salvation, and to find Christ for me and you. And I think that's one of the things we have to be very, very aware of the Obama administration and Congressman Carnahan are doing to us. Now, come on.
Well,
neither the president nor
think about
Congressman Carnahan are taking away your right to find your salvation, to get your salvation, and to find Christ.
No, but Charlie, I stand by the statement, because listen to what I'm trying to say. When we have a one-party rule, and it is what they're doing is taking away our freedoms. America's great because our freedom of religion or speech or assembly says you can speak or not speak, you can worship or not worship. But as we take away our freedoms, the logical conclusion that you go towards, and we're headed there in America, is a country that, and it's happened in history. In America, when we were founded, we had our founders say, we saw what England did when they established a religion. We don't want that. We want freedom. And then we saw,
you're bringing up King Henry VIII. Let's come back to the 3rd Congressional District.
Right.
What has Congressman Russ Carnahan done to take away your ability to find Christ?
Congressman Carnahan has been part of one-party rule that has been the most egregious growth in government and is every day limiting our freedom. I mean, don't you object? You answer the question. Don't you object?
Answer the question. How about that? The pot calling the kettle black.
Don't you object to Congressman Carnahan and Pelosi promising Mr. Stupak that there'll be no tax dollars for abortion?
I will plead ignorance on the issue because I haven't examined it. I did not know that there's money going to Pennsylvania for abortions, but I promise you I will look into that.
Okay.
I do agree that there's been a growth in government under this administration. Congressman Carnahan has been part of that when it comes to stimulus dollars. The list goes on and on. The disconnect I have, Mr. Martin, is I don't see how any of that is taking away your ability to find salvation.
Well, again, my argument is when we force from the public square freedoms like religion. By the way, they're coming for you next, Charlie. One of the things they want to do is the fairness doctrine. They want to say that your freedom of speech is limited by the Obama, Pelosi, Carnahan decision making. I mean, we got czars for everything else. Nobody I know. I was in South City yesterday.
Now that may be true that the FCC will reimpose the fairness doctrine.
Right.
We can debate that at some point. But again, that's a far cry from taking away my ability to worship God.
Well, look, if your freedom is limited, that's my only argument is that the growth in government is limiting our freedoms.
Okay, let me ask you this. If George W. Bush, President Barack Obama take away the freedoms of those accused of being terrorists and put them in Guantanamo Bay, is that also part of the loss of freedom that you decry and that you feel is leading us down this slippery slope to our inability to worship Christ?
No, I think that we can talk about the growth in government. I do think after 9/11, in reaction to our fears, we grew the size